This is week
8.
8.
So to start off, on Monday we had a lesson with Ryan where we basically went through the first scene full out before getting feedback from Ryan on how it's going so far and if there's anything we need to improve on in our own time. Basically, if I can remember clearly, Ryan mostly just said that my physicality and vocal choices overall was really good for my character, but there's just certain things like how we had to try and not paraphrase any of the things we said and try and stick with the actual lines in the script.
Because it's like it's so in the writer a little bit if you
Yeah.
skip lines.
It's like all that hard work that the writer put into like creating those the script basically as a whole. It's kind of like all that time and effort has just been wasted.
They'd be like, damn, skip my
Yeah.
lines.
And especially since we're using their work, it's like we are kind of representing them and what they worked hard on. Anything you want to say about that?
One of the things what Ryan said to me
This
is
is on
like,
Monday the
it's-
25th.
where
birthday.
is it? It's right here, not one. It's not that one. It was that one. There it is. One thing what he said to me is that the entrance, like the first thing what you say on stage, it's gotta be big, it's gotta hit different. What's good, we're doing a Viva. Yeah, you just walk right in.
It's alright.
It's like you can chill right there, yeah? Alright, that was Rosie, my best friend. Let me carry on. So, the first, when you walk on stage, it's gotta be powerful, like it's gotta hit, the audience gotta know like who you are. So, if I roll up and I'm like, I'm trying to make my first line, it's been so long.
It hasn't been that long.
Jeez, oh no, they're gonna know I don't know my lines. Be foolish, that was it. Be foolish. So,
Mary Warren.
Mary Warren, yeah. It's gotta be big. It's gotta be strong.
It's the first
powerful.
time we meet John Proctor.
They gotta know that I'm not a nice person. I'm more or less like
You're a prick.
I'm a prick, more or less. I'm a prick, a big prick. What's your first one?
My first line is pretty long, Dr. Griggs. And then basically I have 3 characters, so the way I introduce them all 3 has to be somewhat different, but like powerful in a way. Like Susanna, she's very timid and she just follows the rules. Then you have Anne, who is very caring, but she's stubborn. And then you've got Elizabeth, who's kind, but she's just very possessive over everything. So it's like I have to try and show them in 3 different ways.
You also still enjoy it, like don't be like you have to.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you have to force to say these lines. Like actually enjoy your scenes and all that sort
Enjoy
of stuff.
playing your character.
Enjoy playing it, because if you don't like your character, then I'm sorry,
What's the point?
it's not gonna work.
Then we had Jamie, where we went through the second scene, the one with me and Ricky, before going back into the first scene with Keris. It felt good to go through mine and Ricky's scene again, because I felt like there's certain things in it that we did need work on. But basically there wasn't much we had to get done since Jamie thought it was good already, from when we rehearsed separately. But yeah, we mostly just went over with Keris for the first scene, and that's kind of it. There wasn't much.
We went
Going
through
on.
the scene where it's me and Abigail.
No, we didn't do that one yet.
Did you do that one?
That's in week. Where? No, that's not yet. That was on Thursday.
Never mind then.
Or Wednesday
I'm
was one of them.
But yeah, that was Monday. Was it Tuesday?
Tuesday in James' lesson, we. So, I don't know what I mean by this, but I think what we done in Jamie's lesson, we went through the part where, at the end, Keris and Mary start speaking over each other, where they say the names of all the girls who are accused. And yeah, so it was the first time the girls ever done that one together. A lot was going on in that scene. There was a lot of things that everyone had to do, like everyone had to react if they weren't saying anything. The girls had to try and speak over each other at the same time. It was just a lot was going on at the end of the scene.
I was trying to justify that I'm not a witch or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was one of those scenes where like we know it, we know what to say, but because there's so much going on, people start saying their lines and like, wait a second, I gotta say my line before you say your line.
Yeah.
That was a problem at the start, but at the end, I feel like we all came
It
together
just got
at one
easier.
point and we just said, alright, we've got to go through the whole thing because we keep overtaking each other.
And then afterwards we started blocking the last scene, and then we ended up finishing it in the same lesson as well, since it wasn't a very long scene. It was pretty short, but I feel like the scene gets the point across. It kind of shows you how much damage it, like a small little crush became, and it was just a very nice scene to end it all with. So yeah, anything you want to say about getting hanged?
Well, I had to make it emotional. Well, basically, yeah, I had to make it emotional a bit because it's a powerful scene in the whole crucible. Like, I'm about to get hanged. I don't want to die.
You don't want to die.
I didn't want to die, especially on a bad. I didn't want to die and have my name signed on the church or all that sort of stuff. So, what I did to help myself was I watched the crucible. I watched the ending scene. I watched how Daniel Day-Lewis did it for the first time.
Kind of got some inspiration of how you want to do it.
Yeah, and I said, okay, I'll take it, but I want to change up a bit because I don't want to copy you a bit, but I'll just take some bits. Good actors, what is it? Good actors.
Boro, great actors still.
Yeah. So that's what I did.
Wednesday we used up the whole day from 9 till 7 to go through the entire play for the first time. We were dressed in our costumes for the first time as well, which helped us immerse ourselves into our character's world, as well as we got feedback from Jamie and Ryan on how it looks so far as the whole thing, and if there's anything that we're going to need to change or improve and just stuff like that. I only have notes from the first run through and the second run through. I'll just quickly say them. So first note for the first run through is that I had good reactions at the beginning, which is the devising piece. And just something that mostly all of us have to do, but I've noticed it myself as well, is that we have to try and not sway as much when we're having to just stand in a scene. Try and stand our ground a bit more. And then in the second run through, we have to try and make sure we come in strong when we're entering as our characters. And then something that I done well is that I kept the volume and energy matched at the very beginning of the first scene, which I'm very proud about. But yeah, we've still got loads of notes of stuff that we need to work on, or we do really well but we need to keep up, and that kind of stuff. Anything you want to say?
Jamie told me that in the second scene where it's me and Elizabeth, he told me to take my time so that I don't just like immediately say your lines, like walk up and down.
Make it awkward.
I gotta make it awkward more or less, like make the audience feel like why is he not talking to his wife?
I keep on hearing from the audience when they saw it, they were like, it looks like you guys were a couple. Like a couple that actually had an argument.
Another thing what he told me to do was, where is it? The one thing which I did good at was I highlighted like parts where I should yell, well not yell, but I raise up my voice, because there were some parts I'm like talking in like a normal voice, and there was parts where I'm like, okay, I'm mad at this person. The volume can go high when I hit that point. So that wasn't great at all. So and our projection was loud and clear, because when we look at it back, it's like wow, we were loud and clear. One thing where our struggle was projection,
and the volume of
it's
ourselves.
gonna hit the other side of the room. I just did a carry on. Yeah, just just please carry on, please. Just that didn't happen. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, so the projection's gonna be loud. Can we move to Thursday?
Yes, we got moved to Thursday. So because we had such a long day.
Yeah. It just went. There we go.
Yeah. Since we had such a long day yesterday, we came in later that day and we spent the lesson with Jamie in the theatre where we basically just went through all of our opinions and views of how the run through yesterday went. And
basically our last review of the whole thing.
Anything we need to work on before we get to the actual show week.
We more or less just did the scene where the girls are screaming, more or less. That was about it.
Yeah, where, because this was the first time Kerry's ever got to that bit of the scene. Because we mostly focused on the first scene with Kerry since that's her big scene. But when we got to the feedback lesson, we decided to do the court scene where Karis is joining the other girls running around and screaming at that the first time. But yeah, I don't think there's much to say except for everyone was
Just
on
being
the same
patient.
wavelength of having to be patient, the volume, the reactions. It's basically the same thing that everyone's been saying put into one lesson.
So I'll say my strength for this week was my level of focus. I didn't really like try to talk or nothing because I was just so focused into like
Just kind of getting on with it.
just getting off the work. I didn't even bother like trying to like disrupt anything or nothing. I just got into the work. My weakness, I think my weakness is probably like just to enjoy the scenes more. So like, cause they can tell on my face like how I was like you're not enjoying as much in like some sort of touchy scenes like.
Like it's uncomfortable
It's
for you.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's like the first time it's ever happened, but I just need to know that it's all acting. None of it's like real. It's not gonna. Once it's all over, I'm back to being normal.
Like you're not actually in a relationship.
Yeah. What about you? Thanks.
So, strengths for me would be when it came to the rehearsals and that, in my point of view, I felt like I was less distracted. Like I felt like I was more in character, more in the zone in the rehearsal process. Weaknesses, I would say volume, I guess. I think I would say reaction, but I think I got to the point where I was giving a reaction a bit more. But yeah, I think I would probably say volume because sometimes I think we can have our voice get lost in everything else, and so that's just something that I'm gonna have to work on after for a while, especially when you're in a large group of people. But yeah, that's it.
See you later. That's 30 minutes again.